Welcome ladies and gentlemen to a casted game of Age of Empires 4, and today we've got something very special. It is Empire Wars. We're going to be casting this 4-player FFA. In the south we've got Real Annie playing in teal as the Rus civilization. On the west side of the map in blue we've got Altair playing as the Mongols. In the north in red Mekroid playing as the Delhi Sultanate, and on the east to complete the 4-player FFA we've got Adrubird in green as the Delhi Sultanate. Welcome ladies and gentlemen to Marshland. That is your map for today. And with the Empire Wars game format, as you can see, the players all actually start off with 29 villagers and a scout. So things get up and running super fast. And the Rus get structures, all civilization get structures to start off with. You know, key things like drop-off points, and the Rus even get a wooden fortress. Speaking of the Rus, they're going to be going up with the Kremlin here today, the H2 landmark to get them there. To the feudal age will be the Kremlin on the west side. It will be the Mongols going up the Silver Tree, and in the north a Tower of Victory for the Delhi Sultanate. On the east it's going to be the Dome of the Faith for Adrubird and the Delhi Sultanate in green. Hope you guys are enjoying Age of Empires 4 right now. With this new public update preview brings a whole host of changes, whether it be civilization bonuses, the game mode, and I'm super excited to see how Empire Wars turns out. Now of course this is an FFA, so speaking of meta and the way the game plays out, it's going to be a bit different in this match compared to say a 1v1 matchup. But certainly with the Empire Wars start, with the 29 villages at the start, it does feel like civilizations that can get to the castle age fast and get a real power spike that way really start to benefit and take advantage of this game format. It feels like civilizations that thrive on an extended feudal age might suffer. Namely, being the Delhi Sultanate is certainly one of those civilizations that kind of thrive in the feudal age with a heavy feudal age push, with the sacred sites coming into play. Speaking of sacred sites, we do have one in the middle and one on the east and one on the west. Now you can see this map wasn't really designed for a 4-player FFA. We don't have one in the north and one in the south, so unfortunately for red and teal today there is no sacred site next to them. And this really kind of favors green in a way, because you'll be able to get that sacred site in the feudal age if it's not stopped. So a fascinating way to play this new game mode and FFA. In the middle of the map, lots of shoreline fish to be gathered and had. Khan going up against the scout. Now, what will be interesting to see is with the Mongols is the new unit, the Keshik. It's a new worked unit for the Mongol civilizations. As you can see, it's kind of taking over the place of the Lancer. And the real benefit to bear in mind with this unit is that it restores health after every attack. Super exciting new game mechanic for the Mongols. Now the Delhi Sultanate, it feels like the landmark of choice to get to the next age, the feudal age. It really does have to be the Tower of Victory, you feel, because with the fast-paced action, I'm not sure the Dome of the Faith gets you that much value. We'll have to have a think about this as the game kind of persists and gathers momentum, but having cheap scholars, you know, to get them out there for research time, I don't know, it just doesn't feel that solid anymore. Especially with the easy tech up from feudal age to castle age. Speaking of which, I wonder whether anyone is actually opting to do that. We can see Adrubird is actually probably heading that way himself, actually playing as the Delhi Sultanate, going fast castle. Having said that, the Delhi Sultanate do have a new game mechanic. You know, the village fortresses coming into play. Well, that has taken a little bit of a nerf on this patch. It used to be a 25% cost reduction of stone buildings. Now it's gone down to 20%. I mean, it's not a huge nerf, it's 5%. But the benefit of that, or the big nerf aspect of it, is that a stone outcropping has 1200 stone in it. It used to be the case that a keep would cost 600 stone, so you could actually get 2 keeps out of 1 stone outcropping. And now with the nerf coming in there a little bit, meaning that a keep will cost 640 stone, you won't actually technically be able to get 2 keeps out of 1 stone outcropping. You will have to move across the map and get further stone piles. Speaking across the map, well, I think a couple of units were just lost there by Mekrid. It wasn't able to get these units across the map away from the danger. In the north, we can see the House of Learning rather, being chosen here for Mekrid. That's interesting. Looks like Mekrid's going to have to be, well, he's going to be playing this very greedy in terms of aggression. Not greedy in terms of economy, because he won't be having access to village fortresses because of this. Compound of the Defender is the landmark of choice for that upgrade. Village fortresses, that makes your keeps into town centers effectively. And that is the landmark of choice here for Adrubird, going up with that Compound of the Defender landmark. On the west side, I just wonder whether Altair will be going to the castle age. It doesn't seem so just yet, although he does have a few villagers on gold, so should be able to get there pretty soon. Well, having said that, interesting enough, he's able to get the Keshik in the feudal age, so That's something I actually wasn't totally aware of. So this is actually a feudal age unit now. It is looking super strong for the Mongols, I have to say. Effectively having a strong heavy melee cavalry unit in the feudal age. Just like, say, the French and the Rus. And of course we'll be having those upgrades in the castle age. It's going to be the high trade house here, the economic landmark for the Rus. Getting that nice sweet bounty, 135 gold per minute. And the Sacred Site looking to be taken here by Mekred, using the Delhi Sultanate kind of bonus, I guess, the focus of their attention on Sacred Sites. And funnily enough, looking to get the one on the east as well. I'm sure Adjabird will have something to say about that, sending a villager there out there now. And I fancy the Mongols. Their mobility is likely to be very strong in this match, because the Keshiks with good micro as well, I suppose it's not really a micro issue, but the fact that they restore health after every attack is very nice. Oh, ball pull here. That was a bit cheeky. The ball will be taking care of that scholar. Does get the Sacred Site, but it is now being neutralized. In the middle of the map. Looks like Mekro is going to be getting down those palisade walls with the man-at-arms and securing that central Sacred Site. Would be a nice bit of gold for him. And but unfortunately we'll be losing that Sacred Site on the east side. In the south, let's just take a look what Annie is up to. Playing pretty passively, these players. Oh, okay, well, he's not playing passively. They're coming, the Mongol Keshiks. They're riding in, taking down the houses and burning things down. Bit surprised to see him go for the houses. Okay, he's taking the scout. Plenty of sheep there, unfortunately, will not fall in the hands of the Rus civilization today. But does, of course, have the deer spawning out of the high trade house. Sooner or later, at least. He's under pressure here. The Mongols being aggressive nice and early. And the good thing about the houses being taken down and getting on fire, this is getting the raiding bounty for the Mongols. So if you're not aware with Age of Empires 4, when the Mongols set buildings on fire, they do get some resources. And looking to maybe make his way forward now. We will be able to potentially see some of the Kremlin gremlins. I think he only has one ticket now, though. A couple of archers diving in a little bit too quickly. A new Khan rises for the Mongols. Not that much else happening on the east side of the map apart from static defences. Looks like Mekroid looking to wall himself off, and that's an interesting choice actually. In fact, he's going for static defences, maybe just to avoid being raided, which is not a bad shout when you're playing up against the Mongols civilization. We do see the Mongols heading north now. It's done a bit of damage to Annie, but I don't know how I feel about this. Altair making enemies of himself. Maybe going to the central Sacred Site to try and deny that. Made an enemy already in the south. Going in the north, maybe making another enemy in the north. Mongols here today. Not looking to make friends. Interesting use of the Silver Tree landmark. There's actually no real way for him to trade here, unfortunately, with that landmark. And the east, we do see some elephants coming out. Looks like Adjabird has had enough of being passive. And go forward with the war elephants, going straight over to his Delhi civilization enemy in the north. Man-at-arms probably will be taken down. I said probably, almost definitely now. Mongols were trying to push that Sacred Site, didn't quite manage it. Does have a couple of man-at-arms, 19 of them. Mekred, of course, does have the House of Learning, so looking to get the Honed Blades upgrades, which will increase the damage by +3 for the man-at-arms, as well as the, of course, the Lancers, which he does not have at the moment. In any case, a couple of houses will be going down. Looks like it's going to be the landmark going up to the Castle Age for Altair. Going to go with the Kurultai and getting that bonus attack with this. With the, of course, well, it's a bonus to the military, really, with the aura healing up 1 health for every 1 second for those units. And obviously giving it additional 20% damage. It's certainly a very strong landmark in this game. And Altair looking to make sure that his units are the best equipped that he can do. And I suspect he'll be looking to get the veterancy upgrade for these Keshiks once he does get to that Castle Age. Next out on the west, sneakily looking to be taken by Mekroid. I'm sure that's not going to last for very long. The movement speed of these Keshiks will catch up and deny that, I'm sure. In the south, it looks like Annie does not want to be raided again by the Mongols, getting these palisade walls up and running, which is a really nice fortification for the Rus. Builds super fast. 3 seconds it takes for a villager to hammer down one of these fortified palisade gates, or walls rather. And they do have a decent amount of HP on them, 2,500. Does take a bit of time for enemies to burn through. The war elephants heading through and looking to trample on these man-at-arms. Let's have a couple of scholars there healing up those war elephants as well. Looks like the scholars are going to go down to the man-at-arms, but the man-at-arms probably won't survive too much longer against these elephants. The north. You see the production buildings being supervised by the scholars in there, boosting up the production speed. Heading into almost the 11th minute of the game, the Czech side on the west has almost been neutralized by the Mongols. And, interesting enough, Kurultay's coming here forward for Altair, looking to maybe burn down these palisades and make his way through. Looks like a couple of relics coming in for the Rus. This is actually a nice benefit here, getting the warrior monks in nice and early, getting those relics in nice and early for the Rus. Bit of gold income. Never hurt anyone. Wallow going off on the elephants. Doesn't quite manage it in the end. I'm not sure whose scholar actually was trying to get that off. It does look like it was Mekroid, but has to head back home. A couple of crossbows and spearmen. Could be under pressure here, Mekroid. These war elephants certainly doing some job. Doing a good job. Does lose an elephant though. It's unfortunate. Scholars weren't there to heal and trying to get out of there. It doesn't quite manage it. And unfortunately, this guy will be disintegrating into the ground very soon. Oh, just disappearing. In any case, in the middle of the map, Keshiks. They are making a name for themselves in this game format, Empire Wars. Looking to burn down these palisades pretty quickly and deny the central sacred site. See the resources really starting to build up for Annie there in the south. Got plenty of wood income. Probably funded by the, of course, wooden fortress, boosting up the wood income by quite a significant amount. 20% more wood coming in because of that. Struggling on the food economy. Might need to have a farming transition. Is they taking the deer pack from the high trade house, of course. Let's just see if he has any other sources of food. Did lose a bunch of sheep earlier in the game to the Mongols. Not sure if he ever really got those back, and he's creating a bit of a choke point for himself on the front of the base. It does have some berries you could take advantage of. Looking to get plenty of stables and those knights. Sexite in the middle of the map, nearly taken down, or decapped, shall we say. In the north, farming transition coming in for Mekroid. Wants to get that food income nice and running. Does have plenty of wood to spend in that. Getting the crossbows in the front lines to defend. Now, Real Annie going to the Imperial Age. Now, what landmark has he gone up with? He has gone up with the High Armory, looking to get that siege engine bonus in terms of cheapness, at least. Because this landmark makes the siege workshops reduce the cost of their siege engines by 20%. Does also contain some unique siege engine technologies. Got banded arms, wandering town, siege crew training, and fine-tune guns. You see a decent number of horse archers there for the Rus. Going to be trying to snipe some of these Keshiks, but the movement speed for the Keshiks just have been boosted by the Khan. He does back off and keeps his horse archers alive for now, because this is a bit of a menacing army here for Altair, doing a great job of spending his resources and pushing the issue. Now, Annie probably doesn't want to take a fight here, not until he has the elite upgrades. It doesn't have the elite upgrades. A massive push in. Massive charge attack coming in from the Keshiks. So this is not really a fight that Annie can win. He's taking it anyway. Unfortunately for him, he got up to the Imperial Age, but doesn't really seem to take advantage of that tech up. Because these are still, well, these are just horse archers, regular Castle Age horse archers. He does lose a couple of the crossbows as well. This is looking a bit dangerous here for Annie, because the Kurultai is moving forward. That will heal up the units and also give that 20% attack damage bonus for the Mongols' army. Archers in the back line, taking care of the horse archers. The elite horse archer upgrade has come in, but he's just lost so much of his mass, and Annie might be the first victim for the Mongols here in the south corner of the map. The veterans who comes in for the Keshiks, they are looking very, very nice. Take a look at this new unit. Well, these units do go down. Kurultai does get deployed right on the front lines, and the problem for the other civilizations playing in this match is that Altair will be getting raiding bonus. Every single building that goes on fire is getting resources, will pile on the pressure, really snowball things in terms of military. And this is a super interesting mechanic. Like, these units are actually healing by attacking buildings. It's not just units that these Keshiks have to attack to gain health, which is actually kind of bonkers if you think about it, because at the moment these Keshiks are attacking the town center and gaining health, and it just feels like it's a very difficult situation to stop. These guys are going to be very good at taking down buildings, because of course the arrow fire is coming out, but it's only 3 villages garrisoned inside, to be fair, but still every attack restores health on these Keshiks. Loses the first landmark, and the rest are struggling here. Annie, he's going to need a bit of help from the other players if he's going to stay alive. I think the other players are just quite happy for him to die here. Speaking of other players, a couple of units here on the southeast corner of the map for Metroid. Maybe look to just poke and prod his old foe here, Bird. 2 players playing the Deadly Sultanate in the south. Here we go. Here's a big fight. A couple of crossbows are there. You can hear them. Doesn't feel like it's going to be enough though. The villagers on the woodline will be massacred by the Keshiks. And I just wonder whether Annie will be tapping out soon because his economy is dwindling. He sees food income just absolutely in tatters. Only has 5 villages on food, has 16 villages on stone. Maybe able to get a keep, but at what cost? Because he's struggling. Won't be able to even afford some Kremlin gremlins out of this, I'm afraid. And it looks like the Kremlin is going to be the next landmark to go down. There is going to be another 2 landmarks to take down. Will be the High Trade House and the High Armory. There is a keep here though. He spent that stone that he collected. Does have another keep in his potential to build. Protect the gold and that High Trade House. Will buy him some time. I suspect some siege engines might be needed here by Altair. Wonder whether he's going to be getting boiling oil. That could be the next stage. Doesn't really have resources he would want for that. And he just taps out. It is over for him. And the concern for the other 2 players is that, well, Altair will be getting the raiding bounty here. That is going to be a fearsome force that's going to be turning into, as we do see Altair possibly looking to tech up on the back of this if he can get those resources. In the north, it looks like the walls have been placed. Metroid looking to boom ahead. He's got plenty of farms. I just wonder what Bird has been up to. He did get compound on the defender, so I do wonder whether he's got some keeps of his own. Looking to bolster up the villager production. Doesn't actually seem to have any just yet. So not really taking advantage. Oh, he has one there. He has one there. It does appear like he has 2. Okay, I take it back. He's got a couple on the map. And he will be effectively working with 3 town centres with the village fortresses already in play. He's going to go up with he's got the Imperial Age army potential with the Palace of the Sultan, which will be producing the Sultan's elite tower elephant. Actually, a technically new unit for Age of Empires 4 and the Deadly Sultan. On the west side of the map, Metroid looked to pile some pressure on Altair. He does not want Altair to keep with the whirlwind of units coming out. Could be the Uvu next if Metroid spots it. Villagers coming away from the gold vein. But plenty of resources there for Altair. Has 2,000 food in the back, 1,000 gold. Will certainly have the capabilities of pumping out units. Have triple stables. Might need to drop some further production buildings. Doesn't really have the wood to put too many more. And the east side of the map. I do like what Ajiber's done here. He's got the protection of the keeps on the front lines and could potentially actually start to take some shorefish for some food if he so wishes. He's got plenty of food anyway, but he's actually got the amount he would need to go to the Imperial Age twice over if he should wish to. Keshiks are riding in. They're going to be attacking the spearmen. There are crossbows on the front line, but there are crossbows for the Mongols as well, and archers coming in. This army is just way too big. The Mongols surely going to outweigh and overrun the Delhi Sultanate. They're going to try and run away from this position. It does have the march speed bonus that the Delhi Sultanate have. He's going to use that and get away from there as fast as he can. It is the forced march. He should be able to run away, but still the Keshiks are keeping up and they're whittling down the numbers, and that was a fight that really Metroid couldn't take. He's going to come in with the reinforcements. They're going to get the forced march. These guys are on steroids. They're moving so fast. And try and take an engagement. I wonder whether Altair just turns and fight this. He potentially has the capability to do so. He wants to fight elsewhere. He wants to run back home. No real reason to rush it at this point. Plenty of food and gold. Needs to spend that food if he can. Plenty of resources. Looks like Metroid has made an enemy of himself for the Mongols here on the north, and I guess that's going to be the next target here for Altair. On the west side of the map, looks like Altair looking to try and get the white stupa, the Imperial Age landmark. Does kill that scholar. Position has been given away, so Metroid might head this way, but of course the movement speed and capabilities of this army, but Altair should be able to defend that position if it comes to that, and I suspect it won't, because here comes the big fight. Crossbows on the back line with the Keshiks on the front, and spearmen and crossbows there for Metroid. Looks like this is actually going to be a good fight for Metroid in the end, because the sheer numbers of crossbows really starting to whittle down those numbers. Keshiks are all but gone because of the sheer numbers of spearmen. This is actually a bit of a problem here for Altair. A lot of villagers idle there in the main town centre. Not enough space in that town centre. But these are mostly infantry units. I'm not sure how much damage they're going to get, but a lot of villagers will go down, and looks like it's going to focus on that in the economy. But the question is, once he loses his standing army, there will be a pushback from the Mongols. They will be looking to get their revenge, but a lot of villages are going down. That is not what he would want there, Altair. Doesn't really have the resources anymore. A lot of gold has been spent and doesn't have much of a food bank either. This is a concern. A lot of villages went down, and A couple of Keshiks still popping out, but the crossbow should possibly be able to survive if he uses the forced march, and looks like he does. He's going to get out of there and save those units. On the east side, though, keep is looking to put up. Try and deny a bit of eco and the expansion that Adjubert was looking to achieve. Now, crossbows do get out of there. Good push there for Mekra. It did a lot of damage. The question is, can he double down and make advantage of that? The worst possible scenario for him, though, is if he's going to get pushed, and he might just by Adjubert. Quite a few elephants here. I do fear for Mekro's position. He's made an enemy of the Mongols, and he already had the enemy of the Delhi Sultanate in Adjubert. The elephants are dancing. New changes with the Papa, new game mode. New ways of dancing for the elephants too. The west side, looks like Altair trying to push now, looking to break down those walls and burn his way through. Trying to get a second layer of palisades. That will only buy him a little bit of time, needs more time for army. Going to get some rams. I mean, he's got bigger problems on his face at the moment. He's got bigger problems he's going to be facing up soon with these horsemen and the crossbows. He should be able to deal with it though. Altair doesn't have too much of a meaningful army here. Concern though is this. He's going to be 2v1. Does have to keep in the front lines. But would he be able to deal with two attacks coming in at the same time? Here they come. There's the Sultan's elite tower elephant. Crossbows in the back line. Should be able to take one or two of those. Takes one of the elephants down already. Looks like Altair was hoping to join the fight, but he thinks better of it. He heads back and wants the Delhi Sultan to do damage. He loses another tower elephant. He loses another war elephant. Heads behind the keep. But he does lose a lot of units. He's going to dive underneath there. I'm not sure that's a wise idea. Boiling oil is there. And he even has a cannon emplacement. So I don't think he will stay around here for too long here. Two keeps, yeah. This is not a fight he can take. He has to back off. And he just has to. He cannot take that fight. In the middle of the map, though, looks like Altair notices that Mekrid is distracted. He's going to go for the sacred site in the middle. Now that bit of gold income. And Mekrid is looking in a precarious position. Has plenty of gold coming in. Decent amount of food. Well, in this bit of quiet time, I hope you guys enjoy the casted game, and if you're watching on YouTube, I do have a subscriber goal. I'm hoping to reach around about 8,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Help me get there. Clearly, if you're watching up to now, you clearly enjoy the content. Just smash that subscribe button for everything Age of Empires 4. Hopefully, this game will pick up pace soon, because it's been pretty non-stop action since the beginning in this game mode, new game mode, Empire Wars. A couple more elephants are joining the ranks here for Adjubert, looking to push again for the second time. I suspect we should say third, actually. He did have an initial little push at the beginning of the game. On the back of this, I just wonder whether there's been a bit of a booming approach. No, Altair keeping up with the unit production. No second town centre for him. He will be a bit bare bones in terms of economy now. It does feel like Adjubert is in the strongest position out of the three players. He's had quite a few keeps up for quite some time. Got a nice farming transition. He's got a lot going on. And this farming economy is very well protected by these keeps. It's getting another one as well on the back lines. Protected by the wooden palisades. It does have a sacred site as well. I just wonder whether the Mongols took care of the Rus relics. He didn't actually pick up the relics. There were 3 there out there for the taking. And that's unfortunate. Plenty of gold there that could have been coming in there passively for Altair. Bit of an oversight, you feel. Looks like Mekra is looking to take down the keeps one by one with the rams. Might be a tricky situation because he's going to be faced up against Altair's army, and well, we can see Altair didn't go for the economy approach. He went for the military approach, and well, this is a heck of a lot of the military. He's got veteran Keshiks with the veteran archers and a couple of hand cannoneers on the back line. Looks like the crossbows will be picked apart here. Mekra looks like Adjubert is going to get in the fight. I'm not sure why Adjubert is pushing here. The Mongols took a bad fight to be fair. And Mekra does push back the Mongols, but now he's got the Delhi Sultan elephants to deal with. Rams coming out. The rams will be taken apart by the elephants. Scholars coming in to heal up the elephants as well. And Mekra is getting pushed from 2 angles here. And a bit concerning for the situation. Takes the engagement. Adjubert wants to push underneath that keep with crossbows and hand cannoneers there from Mekrid, fighting underneath the keep with the cannon emplacement, and the elephants do head back. Loses about 3 or 4 of them. Doesn't achieve all that much apart from losing units. Heads back to his own keep, and this is certainly turning into a bit of a standoff situation. I think siege will be needed to take those keeps. Looking to get those siege workshops on the front line there, Adjubad. Mongols coming in for a wave 2 there, really ganging up on Mekrud. Altair and Adjubad really want to face off on a 1v1 to finish this this FFA. Heading into almost the 25th minute of the game now, 26th minute of the game. Keep holding firm for now. Adjubad's income in terms of resources is a little bit disgusting, has to be said. But there will come a point when gold could become an issue. Does have the sacred site, which is certainly key. No real other gold source, it seems. Could become an issue. Has one in the north, but is actually protected by Mekrud's keep, so that's a problem. Looks like Mekrud is trying to push here. Does take out 2 more elephants. But again, I think really to make a meaningful push, there will need to be siege. And speaking of which, Mekrud does have a trebuchet now unpacking under the protection of that keep. Slowly, we'll be thinking to take that down. Is that population max here, Mekrud? Altair at 171, Adjubad at 181. Of course, Annie, the first victim in this 4-player FFA going down, has a population of 0. And there is trade coming up here for the Mongols. A little bit cheeky there, has to be said. And the Silver Tree coming in clutch in the end. So nice choice of a landmark in the end. Has justified himself using the neutral trade post. Now we said there was no way to trade. Well, I take it back. All you have to do is take out one of the opponents and trade with the landmark. Speaking about taking out one of the opponents, well, Altair looking to take a second one out. Villagers coming out to try and repair. It's got to think better of it. Keshiks are not paying attention. Now, there is no elite upgrade for these guys. Hasn't been able to afford it. These are elite man-at-arms with hand cannoneers in the back line. I'm not sure he's going to be able to achieve that much with these Keshiks. Going to dive in and try and get some eco damage. But again, this is a bit of a overcommitment. I don't think he's going to achieve much out of this. He's boiling oil as well. Keeps up protecting the back lines. There are a couple of farms that could be exposed, but just dancing around the keeps with boiling oil. Not sure how I feel about that. Gonna head away. Loses critical numbers though. And Mekrud will certainly defend that position and be content with the position. Won't be too concerned about that. What he will be concerned about is this. As the mangonels are coming out, the elephants are coming out. And we talked about siege and its importance. Well, Adjubad got the memo. He's getting those mangonels now. He's ripping through those production buildings. Doesn't need to take down the keep. Bit surprised at his choice though. Could quite easily have gone for bombards. But I suspect he would want to use the mangonels against the infantry that his opponent has gone quite heavy on. So in some ways it makes sense, and he's going to be using the war elephants to try and siege down this keep, and I guess this is a form of siege. He's going to take down the keep very quickly now. And it's going to be less than ideal for Mekrud and his Delhi Sultanate. The army is coming now after clearing up the Mongols' army. Mangonels get a good shot off, a huge mangonel shot. A lot of those units do go down. Loses a lot of HP, and maybe just maybe Adjubad might get another great shot. He does. Holy moly, one of the best mangonel shots I've seen in the game. And what happens to decent numbers? Might be a good idea to get a couple of scholars here to heal them up. The mangonel's not quite getting in there. The keep is on fire and it's being repaired. This is a bit of an oversight. I think Adjubad needs to take down the keep first. We need to focus down on the units first, and let's get some good mangonel shots. The keep is being built. I think a mangonel shot on the keep will take it down. Going to focus on the crossbows for now, but elephant numbers are dwindling. Doesn't really have that many left, and those going down. The siege engines will now be exposed. Force march coming in for the hand cannoneers, running right into the minimum range of the mangonels, and those mangonels will go down. Looks like Adjubad gonna go home, lick his wounds. He did get a keep though for his troubles. As you can see, the Mongols are starting to build up a decent number of army units. Maybe looking to bit of a push on Mekrud. It looks like blue and green are really set on one target, and that's one target alone. Take out Mekrud. Must be frustrating being Mekrud right now. Is getting raided at the back lines. There's such a bit of a problem. Movement speed taking a lot of villages out, and I think Mekrud might be struggling now. Doesn't have that healthier population 142. I think he's losing a lot of villagers. Hand cannons do come out. Will be to take down those lancers. Does have a cannon in placement in this outpost. He lost a lot, and the constant fighting here that he's going to be having to deal with is really hurting. You can see another wave coming in for the Delhi Sultanate from the east. Looking to take down this keep and get hold of this gold. It's actually a precious gold vein. 8,000 gold there to be had. And don't think Mekro can stop this push because he's dealing with the Mongols. Looks like the House of Learning will be a landmark snipe here coming in. Mekro is likely to be the second player being tapped out, and I have to say, after that it'll be an interesting matchup between Altair and Mekro. I don't think really Mekro can hold on any longer. Has 58 military units, but it's being pushed on two sides. Going to lose access to the gold, and Adjabed will take care of that. Get a nice bit of gold income. Elephants and Magadas will make short work of that keep, and well, Altair is going to pull out of that position. Doesn't want to take any unnecessary fights. Slowly building up his military. Now, on the back of this, don't forget he's been trading. Quite a significant amount, it seems, as well. One thing to note as well, that the trade has had a little bit of a rework. Traders actually get gold every time they visit a market. As you can see, getting 99 gold in that trip. So actually doesn't seem like that much, and has taken a bit of an earth trade. But still going to be pretty strong, yeah, you feel. Let's just see how much gold this chap brings in. Brings 99 gold, 9 food, and 9 wood. And losing that House of Learning landmark is just a bit of a warning. Losing the keep on the east side, a bit of a warning. Looks like Mekro going to dive in with a couple of man-at-arms. Won't really be able to achieve too much with 2 keeps here on the front lines and a good standing army for Adjabed. Does have a bit of defense at home as well. Man-at-arms looking to take down the siege engines. Will happen. Ooh, looks like Altair maybe look to focus on Adjabed a little bit. Interesting twist of events. Adjabed's turned his attention onto Adjabed, and Altair pushing hard with his Keshiks. Now these are elite Keshiks now, and they're going to be taking out a lot of the siege engines and rams. Does have a cannon replacements. Quite a few villages on this guard. Village coming in to build an outpost. Try and deny that. Altair pulling away a little bit. Doesn't want to dive in too quickly with the keeps there. I think Altair is going to need some siege engines. Interesting they went with the white stupa though. Could have had some hui pals. The other landmark uses the maneuver with the signal arrow for the Khan to try and boost up the units, and Keshiks are trying to dive in, but the hand cannon is holding firm. Micro there from Mekrid, picking away a lot of those units and holding firm. But look at this, Adjabed heading in the north, and I think Mekroid's going to struggle with this push coming in. He's down up to, well, he's up to 168 population. It's better than what it used to be. Ooh, bit of a keep snipe there. I'm not sure if he lost the keep stone, but he's not going to get this keep up. The hand cannon is going to kill the villagers. I think you need to delete this. He does. He keeps the stone, at least this time. Rams are coming in hard. Maybe a bit of a landmark snipe. There are a couple of those hand cannoneers looking to defend. The east side, the villagers have been taken apart. Holy smokes, Adjabed lost quite a bit there. Did gather a bit of gold, has the wall of fence at home. Again, Mekro trying to dive in the hand cannoneers, take out villagers. This is not really going to work. Plenty of keeps for the villagers to dive and do. And the outpost rather, and the keep's going to take care of those hand cannoneers, I'm afraid. Leaves them bare at home. Rams are still working away. This could be a tap out on the west side. That keep being attacked by the Keshiks. They're going to get a good raiding value. Might look to siege that down, but Rams are starting to be picked apart. Only one remains, and looks like Mekro is holding for like the 10th time. As we head into the 34th, almost 35th minute in the game, the question is how much longer can he hold? Keshiks are pushed away. Keepers down to about half their health. Does have boiling oil, and these Keshiks can't hang around there for too much longer. Hand cannon stayed alive though, kept a little bit alive, harassing that wood line. Fortunate for Adjabed, who does lose a bit of population there. It's down to 168. In fact, Mekrid is up to now 172. The outpost doesn't actually have any emplacements in it, it seems. So it's freely gathering gold with one villager. And well, it looks like Altair wants to come in with a killer blow, does have his Kurultai on the front lines, but looks just wants to torch this down. Surprised with the lack of siege, but it looks like he just wants to torch this down now. Kurultai obviously will be healing up as well, and that would be nice. And I guess that healing probably stacks. These elite Keshiks do heal when they attack, although he's not attacking, he's not getting good surrounds. Going for the villagers first, and the keep was actually repaired up to full health. And I'm trying to take this down with brute force with the hand cannoneers. And this is ill-advised, it's going to take the fight anyway. I'm not entirely sure why, but he is. In the meantime, looks like Ajibur trying to push on the right side. Well, and the elephants on the front line with the mangonels on the back line. Holy smokes, huge amounts of damage coming out of there in slow-mo it seems, and it's going to be a difficult situation to deal with. Mangonels are going to unpack and do a heck of a lot of damage on the hand cannoneers. The elephants on the front lines and the mangonels on the back line. Siege engines do get sniped, and the hand cannoneers with the bombardment behind is going to do a lot of damage. Interestingly, it looks like Ajibur has gone for the Elite Ghazi Rider, a new light melee cavalry. Unique to the Delhi Sultanate, fast cavalry effective at raiding, flanking and countering ranged units. This is actually the new unit for the Delhi Sultanate. Take a good look at it, take it all in. But the bombard for Mech Raid looking to do a lot of damage with the spear in behind, and we can take out that keep. That would be a good starting way to push this back. I wonder what the Mongols are doing. That's what they're doing. They're raiding in with the hand cannoneers. Mech Raid's base is in tatters. Boiling all, and that keep though will be doing a lot of damage, and it just feels like Altair is trying to just brute force his way through. Does have the Kurultai up and running, so these units will be looking to be healed up, and the Keshiks as well, of course, when they attack. They'll be being healed up. Going to try and torch this down. It feels like a crazy mechanic to be able to do this with boiling oil in the keeps. And Mech Raid caught out. He was trying to push against Ajibur, and he's been caught out for sure. The push hasn't worked out to his favour in the east side of the map, and now he's being pushed in the heart of his base. There's not a lot they can do about this actually. I suspect if he heads back, in fact the rally point is in the front of his base, going to try and defend against the Elite Ghazi Riders. They ride into the spears, those will get absolutely destroyed by the spears, has to head back. But in the meantime, his base is being demolished, he's going to lose that keep eventually. There is a bombard emplacement, a cannon placement in them, so I don't know how I feel about this. A couple of siege engines, apparently the Mongols don't believe in siege engines anymore, at least in this match, and Altair. Mangonel's getting good shots against the hand cannoneers. It feels like he's going to be ruining the losses of units to those mangonels. He's lost a lot here, Mech Raid, but does take out the mangonels in the end. The Elite Ghazi Riders trying to ride in and take care of those hand cannons. Another mangonel pops out. Could be a juicy shot. It's a decent one. Quite a few of those these hand cannoneers, well, they do get taken down, but his base is in tatters. I get the feeling that Mech Raid might tap out here as we reach the almost 14 minutes into this game, and well, this might be a landmark sniper. Let's just see what landmarks he's got left. He did rebuild that House of Learning, Tower of Victory, and the Capital Town Centre all on one screen. And then he does have the Hissar Academy just a couple of tiles away, trying to defend the position with the Spearmen. And he's just got to hope and pray that the Mongols decide to head away, but to take down the outpost, and all the farming economy is now down and out. Altair almost reaching that population cap at 200, and well, Ajibur is down to 145, and Mech Raid down at 132, so he's struggling in many ways. Ajibur can now breathe again, going for the Elite Ghazi Riders, and Raiders rather, and it's primarily because he's probably running out of gold. Doesn't really have the gold to sustain gold units anymore, does have mangonels on the field. But let's not forget, I believe he has the Hissar Academy for his Imperial Age landmark as well. So we'll be getting a couple of those free units. Sorry, the Palace of the Sultan, rather. And he does say, yeah, so he does have the Sultan's elite tower elephant coming in. North it will be Altair continuing that push. Spearmen come out, trying to take down as many of the Keshiks as they can, but it's mostly actually hand cannoneers now for Altair. Spearmen won't cut it, even with forced march. They just won't be able to get close enough for the range attack from the hand cannoneers, doing a heck of a lot of work. Elite Ghazi Raiders just holding on for now on the front lines. Spearmen are being spammed out by Mekrid. No real other option he's got. Of course, doesn't have much of a golden income himself. Does have 3 relics though, which is not too bad. Raiding Bounty coming in once again with the flames. Spearmen ahead in that position trying to push Altair back, but that did give the window of opportunity for Adribad to be aggressive. Look, is he going to be heading on the west side? Is he going to go for a cheeky push on Altair? That could be the case, and I mean, that could be a problem situation for Altair with the army on the front lines. Having said that, he does have a relatively good mobile army. At least in the form of the Keshiks, but those crossbows or the hand cannoneers and crossbows take a significant time to get back. And one landmark has already been sniped, and that was a Kurultai. I think he left it on the front lines and he's now lost it. Didn't manage to bring it back with his army, I'm afraid. Trying to break through in the front lines of the walls, but he's going to be caught with his pants down. A rude awakening might be coming in now. Mekrid might actually not be the next player to go down now, because it's quite a menacing army. I think Altair should be able to see this if he spots it. Well, he will get the attack notification now, so he'll spot it. And if he heads back home with his villagers. Probably a good idea to do so. Does have 2,000 gold stone here, Mekrid, so could potentially get some keeps up again. Maybe replace the ones that he's lost, and that's exactly what he's doing. Altair going to chase the army back home. This gives Mekrid an opportunity to get back into the game. I just wonder whether Adribed will go for a landmark sniper. We need to find the silver tree. Kurultai's already been taken, and that means that there's just the town centre and the silver tree, as well as the Imperial Age landmark left. The White Stupa. Mangonel's firing off, and look at this. The Deadly Sultan are doing great work to try and keep the Mangonels alive for as long as possible. The Ghazi Raiders getting in front of Mangonels, keeping them alive, and well, the Keshiks are doing great work. I wonder whether Elite Ghazi Riders will hold on. I think the Keshiks should potentially win, but they are being outnumbered. With the Mangonels on the back line as well. Crossbows affecting... crossbows and hand cannoneers trying to take out the elephants. The Elite Ghazi Raiders look pretty strong, holy smokes. They took out that army very quickly, and that's pretty surprising. Now, they've got increased effectiveness against armoured units. This is a very interesting unit. It's not just a horseman. In fact, it does incredibly well against the Keshiks. It's what they're designed to do. They're designed to work well against armoured units. The Keshiks on the front lines, hand cannoneers and crossbows in the back line. Let's push this back a little bit though. Adribed going to head back home maybe. Mekrid has been able to move back up a little bit. Has got a decent army together, but mostly spearmen. Gets another keep to protect that north position. South, well, Altair, he's not holding back. He wants to put his foot on the gas again and head straight over to Mekrid's base. Not going for the immediate revenge attack against Adribed. Mekrid might be bearing the brunt of 2 players again. It's going to be problematic. Spears are on hand to defend. The east side though, looks like Adribed looked to go for this goal. Does have the capability of doing so. These units look amazing actually. The Elite Ghazi Raiders. Great against high armoured units. Are countered by spearmen of course, as pretty much all cavalry are. And they've got a high movement speed as you'd expect. They do look to move pretty fast. Let's just take a look at the movement speed. 1.88 tiles per second. And if we compare that to the Keshiks, they have a movement speed of 1.62. So not bad, not bad, not bad at all. So Mekrid though doesn't want to give up that goal position at least, or hand it over to his opponent. Pushes this away and archery range. Oh, okay. Well, Adribed taps out. I think he feels like he's just had enough. Maybe. I'm not sure why he did tap out, but he did. That's an interesting decision. Maybe he had something to do. Who knows? In any case, it's going to be left with Altair. Mekrid. Interesting decision to tap out there by Adribed. In any case, Altair versus Mekrid. I do feel like maybe Altair has the better chance here. We'll have to see though. Mekrid has plenty of resources in the bank, but it has to be considered Spearmen engage against Altair's Keshish, or they were trying to at least. Does have Mangonels, I'll take it back. I think Mekroid has a better army here, especially with the siege engines in the back line. No siege here for Altair. He doesn't believe in siege apparently. Going to dive in with the Spearmen. Now, losing the Spearmen is actually not a huge deal for Mekroid. Ultimately, these are trash units. They're not gold intensive. And every single hand cannoneer he can take is a blessing in disguise as a bonus. Spearmen look to protect those Mangonels. The Spearmen engage. Again, the Keshiks cannot engage there. And I suspect Mekroid will be going on the gold. He's got 8,000 gold here to take. That is absolutely huge. That will do wonders for the economy. This could turn into a big death push. Spearmen again still going against the hand cannons. Actually took a lot of them down, surprisingly enough. And I think a lot of that came down to the forced march, which activated, move those Spearmen 100% faster for 10 seconds. Really can gap close between the enemy units and yourself. Heading forward, he's not holding back. Keshiks are kind of just hanging out there, not engaging. Can't engage with the number of spears. Wants to group together though. Hand cannons could do a little bit of work here for Altair if he can get a good push. Mangonels deploy, Spearmen to protect the Mangonels. Mangonels output damage is looking good. Picks off a couple of retreating Keshiks. Turning into a bit of a death ball. I think really Altair needs some siege. He needs some Mangonels, some Springolds. He needs a way of dealing with this. Otherwise this is going to turn into a bad death push. Yeah, I mean, Altair needs to commit to siege at some point. He needs some Springolds for those Mangonels. If he doesn't, then there's no real way he stops this. He's going to try and raid again with the elite Keshiks. This is not going to work. Going to lose a lot of the Keshiks to the Spearmen. They're getting trapped. They're going to try and take down the Trebuchet. Does manage to do it, but he lost a lot of Keshiks just for that one Trebuchet. And this is turning into a precarious position for Altair. Don't forget, he's already lost his Kurultai. With only 3 more landmarks left. And well, Mekroid has a huge economy behind this. He's got 3,000 gold. Even if he loses the Spearmen, he could pump out gold units. I wonder what it's going to produce. Going to continue to produce the Spearmen. I'm surprised to not see the Spearmen moving away across the field. But the Keshiks can't engage him, but he is. I'm not sure why. The Keshiks are going to act as a bit of a meat shield. Maybe they'll rely on the crossbows in the back line, but it feels like there's just too many Spearmen. Mangonels getting great shots on the crossbows, and a lot of them going down, and there's just no real way for Altair to take care of the siege engines, at least not for now. And huge Mangonel shots. That could be the difference maker in this game as we're heading into the 48th minute in the game almost. And well, Altair's base is in tatters almost, and it's going to be at least soon. And torches come out from the spears, and the spears will get great torch damage. And I think really Mekroid needs to push that army again. He needs reinforcements. Well, he's got the memo because they're joining the forces now, and that is certainly a death push with 3 Mangonels. There was no anti-siege there for Altair, and he's paying the price. No siege at all in this game for Altair, surprisingly enough, in the Mongols. And looks like he's going to be punished from it. And now in a seemingly position where Mekroid looked like he was going to be down and out, will face up against both Adribert and Altair. Yeah, looks like Mekroid will potentially be winning this 4-player FFA on Marshland on this new Empire Wars game mode. They took down the pastures, and well, Altair's food economy, it was super packed and condensed, and it's grinding to a halt. He only has 16 food. He's not going to be able to produce units. It doesn't have the economy. Trade route's going to be cut off, and he can't produce army here, Altair. Doesn't feel like he's got the army composition to deal with this. No Mangonels of his own, and next is going to be the town centre. That's going to absolutely melt over 3 Mangonels, and the torch damages from the Spearmen. It's the second landmark that he's going to be losing, and I'll leave only 2 more. The villagers will be losing their lives as well. He's going to try and dive in with the Keshiks. That's not going to work. The Spearmen are there to protect the Mangonels, and Mekroid is paying attention. And look at this. Reinforcements coming in with the Trebuchet and more Spearmen. It's kind of not a great situation that he's being countered by just 1 unit here. Spearman's doing all the work, and I guess the Mangonels are there to take care of crossbows, but those Keshiks are not doing nothing. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. He taps out Mekroid. He takes the win on this FFA for the Empire Wars game format. Now, don't forget, this is actually the first ever FFA for Empire Wars. Hope you guys enjoy this casted game. Take care, and see you next time.